Yo, what's going on, gang? Listen, I just wanted to just put a quick trigger warning to let you know that this podcast does contain conversations of sexual abuse. If this is a conversation that you feel that you might be triggered by, there are other podcasts that you can watch. If not, maybe this pod will be able to help you in some way, shape or form. With that being said, one thing that I do think would be able to help some people is a charity that someone had let me know about, which is called Black Minds Matter. As it says on the website, Black Minds Matter UK is a fully registered charity operating in the UK, connecting black individuals and families with free mental health services by professional black therapists to support their mental health. Their vision is to help make mental health topics more relevant and accessible for all black people in the UK, removing the stigma and remodeling the services to be relevant for the black community. Or alternatively, I was told about NHS talking therapies, which you can all contact. It's self-referral, so anyone who's feeling a bit anxious about going into their GP can go online and fill out a form and someone will contact you. It helps someone I know. Hopefully it will help you. The link is in the bio. Love, light and guidance. I hope that there's something that you can learn from this convo. How are you, my bro? How are you today?
I'm great, I'm actually very good still.
Now, don't just say that though. I'm not.
What? Why?
I'm gonna start off by saying I'm not great though.
Why are you not great?
Well, today's not even about me though.
Yeah.
But I'm just like we always do that, innit? Oh, yo, what's going on, my G? Yeah, how are you? Yeah, bro, I'm amazing. Yo, it's lit.
Yeah.
Nah, but like sometimes it's actually all right to just say, nah, like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like I'm off balance today a tad bit, or like I'm just, yeah, like.
I feel you. I'm a whinger though, like, so if you ask a man them, like, I'll whinge to them. Do you get me? Like, I'll share. If I'm upset, everyone will know I'm upset. I'm not gonna make everyone else upset, but everyone, like, usually with the people around me closest to me, I'll vocalize, yo, I'm upset today. Like, like chill out a bit.
How are you like emotionally turbulent?
I wouldn't say turbulent. I know my emotions essentially.
Yeah.
So I'm vocal. So if anything happens, you can understand. Yo, today he's a bit
right.
Or maybe if I just want to be quieter, to be honest with you, it's like, yo, I just want to chill a bit today.
Yeah.
You get me?
I'm like, see, for me, I feel like. I don't know what the percentage is in regards to like how this is with everyone else, but like it's weird. Like, see when I feel things, I feel them at like quite extremes.
Yeah.
So like, see, like happiness, like when I'm happy, I feel it in like a proper intense way. Yeah. My behavior doesn't necessarily always show that.
Yeah.
But like in my soul, I'm just so happy.
Yeah. I get that.
But you see, when I'm like low, like I just feel so low. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, my behavior, the way that I might talk, or the way that I am with people or whatever, you may not necessarily see that. I might just say, oh, I'm not even feeling that great today, but I'm feeling mad.
What do you think that is? Is that, do you reckon that's just being an adult, like not necessarily having to express it like the complete way in it? Because it depends on the situation. If you're out and you're extremely happy, I'm sure you'll be bubbly in it. But maybe it's situation to situation.
I mean, for me personally, it's just down to the fact that, like, because I question so much things, even the way that I'm feeling, that probably like adds to it a bit. But the thing is, I think maybe, I'm not sure if this is the same for you, and I would like you to talk on this, but for me, I am very aware that each emotion is quite temporary for me. Do you know what I mean? So definitely. It's like there's not one that lasts for a super long period of time. It's just like, you know what, this period of time here, everything is just sick. Then I'll just go for a period of time where everything is just not sick. But I do know that it's not going to not be sick forever.
Exactly.
Like, I know that I'm going to have another period where it's sick again. It's just about trying to balance out how the averages of how that looks in a year.
I think I'm the same as you still. So with me, or should I say, I've kind of changed now. I let my feelings sit with me, and I'm like, because before I just used to ignore them. So everything I'll do, like if I'm happy, I'm gonna do the same thing as when I'm sad, which is work. So I'm like, yo, happy, work, sad, work, frustrated, work, work. And then I got to a point like where I'm like you, I think a lot, innit? And I was just like, all this thinking isn't really making me happy, innit? Like it's draining me even more, because I'll start thinking about, am I feeling this because of this? Am I feeling this because of that? And then it got to the point where I was just like, do you know what? I'm an artist, innit? I just want to feel and actually express myself. So when I done, like, if we segue onto it, when I done that tweet, I was just like, I'd actually spoken about what I spoke about in the tweet, so the sexual abuse with someone, and it kind of triggered, man. But usually I'm someone that will just like, I stay off socials, innit? Like, you can see I'm not really the most active on socials. But I was just like, do you know what? I'm finally out my deal. I'm finally in a space where I can just be me again. And like, your fans, or how I see it personally, my fans are like my friends. So if I'm comfortable to express this with my friends, I'm going to express this with my fans, innit? And show them that I'm a human being as well. Like, I have these lows as well. Do you get me? Because I think it's insincere. Like, when me and you have a conversation, I'm not going to be, yeah, Chuckie, everything's amazing. Yeah, this, everything's amazing. Me and you might have a conversation. Remember, I think I came up to you on the plane that time.
Yeah, I'll never forget that conversation.
Yeah,
still.
I was like, I feel like this, what did I even say again?
You, so just for context, everyone, yeah, we was on a plane going to Texas. I was going to South by Southwest, innit, yeah? And there was like a bunch of, like, there was quite a few of us that went. We was on the plane, and I remember you came up to me and you was talking about, I think it was like the state of where the music scene was at that point. I can't remember exactly where you was going with it, but I remember how I felt when I left the conversation. Yeah. And I remember thinking, right, like, two things actually. Right, you're a deep guy still. Like, you're actually really paying attention to stuff, yeah? Yeah. But also you care, though. Like, differently.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
It's not just a thing for you where you wanted to just come and just make a quick buck and gone. Like, you were really paying attention to what's happened before you, but also where this could potentially go, where that leaves you, where you are almost going to position yourself within it, and also like almost where everyone else is as well. Like, it was a deep conversation. Deep conversation. But I just remember coming away from that thinking, nah, like you're definitely someone who's like tapped in though.
Yeah. So definitely, it just got to the point where I was like, do you know what? Because I've been in the label situation and everything, and you don't know where music, or in my scenario, I didn't know where music's coming out. I'm like, what's it called? Most of my brethren aren't on social media, for example, yeah? That's how I've been raised, innit? Like, naturally. So I'm like, if I'm not here to talk about music, or music isn't coming, I felt like a bum. Right. I'm like, bro, I'm a bum, like, just tweeting nonsense. Like, what am I really here for, innit? So now I'm back in a space where I'm like, yo, do you know what? Like, I've got everything in control in my hands and everything, and I can just be the person that I want to be in it completely. Because it's like, when I was talking about the industry in that tweet, I was talking about it as a whole, holistically. So I'm not just talking about me and the label, I'm talking about everyone in it.
Do you know what? I've like literally today, I wanted to have a certain type of conversation, so I structured it a certain way. So I'm going to get to everything. Yeah?
Okay, yeah, then take the lead.
So early on, you was talking about like when you're whatever emotion it is that you're feeling, yeah, you kind of still tie that to work.
Yeah.
But you said something that was once my therapy, my passion, became my torment and anguish.
Yeah.
So what happens when the place that you go to in order to like either distract yourself from it or talk about it becomes the unsettling place for you though?
Yeah. So that's what I just stopped. I told the man that I'm on a break now, man. Because what happened is, in that label situation, I'm just making songs. I'm just making Like, I just live in the studio, so I'm making this song, that song, that song, that song, that song, that song. But they're looking for a certain type of song. They want another Best Life, or they want another Extreme Happiness. And I'm like, give me 10 mil then. Like, give me 20 mil. I'll show you how to be extremely happy or something. But it's like, yo, at the same time, I'm not extremely happy. I won't ever recreate that feeling, because that was a sincere feeling. Like, I'd made it from my area. Like, I'd moved. Do you get what I'm saying? I've moved from a council estate to a private estate.
Do see when you're in the label, yeah?
Yeah.
And you're like making, like, you've had a hit now.
Yeah.
In your situation, did they come to you and basically almost directly as well say to you, we need another one of those? Or was that just kind of like the sentiment of like...
It's the sentiment. They're never going to... I think
they don't say it, but it's the undertone.
Yeah, like, it's like, nah, we don't want to release this because it's not like that way. Or it's like, you know, this one, we're not sure if this is you. Like, you know, this is not what we know of you. But I'm like, that's the whole point of music. You find out more about the person. How do you know someone straight away? It's like, I think that's why a lot of acts in the industry become a caricature of themselves, because they want the artist to focus on that one dimension of them that made them money. You get what I mean? Whereas for me, I started doing grime. I was in the car park. I was angry. I'm an angry little kid with no shape up in the video. Like, the first line I said is, "Don't trust me, I'm Buki." Now I'm doing XYZ and I'm making XYZ. I'm happy. I'm like, fuck what you heard, innit? Like, yo, Monday I didn't have a license. Thursday I hopped in a Merc.
Right.
That's not punchlines. That's not like imaginary stories. It's Monday. I woke up that Monday and I was like, man, I still don't have a license. I'm going to do a crash course. My brethren drove me around, let me drive his car for 2 days straight. I've done I found a last minute test. I'd already passed my theory, by the way, just in case anyone wants to know. But I'd done a last minute test and like I got it that Wednesday. It's like everything just lined up. So I wanted to drive on Monday. Wednesday, I passed my test. And Thursday, I went to East London and I rented the C-Class. And then 500 miles on the weekend, we went to Bristol. And I'm driving to Bristol, like the week off it. So I'm like, yo, that's how you get a best life. Because I was just being
I hear that. It's your environment and what you've put, like, almost the place where you've placed yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. You see, what point did you sign?
So I'd signed late 2017.
What was the premise on them signing you on? Like, what was that conversation based upon? Was it based upon, you know what, yeah, we want to get some singles out of you? Was it they wanted to get an album? Did they see a vision for you as an artist, or did they just see a vision for you as someone who was putting out singles?
So what?
Do you understand what I mean
happened was, you know, that I can talk, innit? Like, I can talk a good game. So they were like, yo, give this brother a free album deal, like, give him 3 albums. So I done that's what I signed for, and then the team that I'd signed with, by the time Best Life was come out, 2/3 of them have left.
Right.
So then the rest of the people in the building, they didn't really sign up for me. You naturally in it. So it's not that I'm not mad at that, because how can you market something that maybe you didn't even personally believe in? So it's like, because the first instance that I had of a pushback was when I done the song Rapper, and it's like, said she want a baller, said she want an F-boy, and then I remember showing it to them and they're like, nah, like, I don't like this. And I was like, bro, like, you're 40-year-old and middle class. I didn't really expect you to like this. Why would you say she must think I'm a rapper? Like, I swear, like, you man were listening to like jazz and that. Like, it's not the same time, innit? But I don't think they like that I said that. That
is actually, there's like a question I'm going to ask you, but when I think about this question, I actually think about this being part of the problem, but I'll get to that in a minute. You know what it is, yeah? I think that the one part of signing a deal that most people do not know, yeah, especially if you're young, is that when you sign a deal to a label, or to any type of establishment, so someone who's come and said to you, I want you, there's a possibility that at some point, that person who said, I want you, another person from a record label or who is a boss or whatnot, looked at the person who signed you, the A&R, whatever, and said to that A&R, I want you. Come work with me. There's a whole bunch of I want yous. Which then means that people, that means that like people then get moved around, and then essentially what happens is the person who said I want you, that I want to sign you, I want to do X, Y, Z, I believe in you, whatever. When they go, you're now lumbered with an A&R who didn't sign you, who doesn't have the same vision as you, who doesn't have now. So all of a sudden the whole infrastructure changes and the ambition changes because you're no longer a priority anymore. But ultimately, you're still an artist who wants to put out music, and not necessarily just that. You're still a human being who's going through a whole bunch of things. And I don't think that of all of the things that are probably wrong with a record label, I think that is probably one thing that they definitely do not pay much attention to in looking at. I think it's just you know what? We've got this person, just have a look. They're talented. But there has to be something, there has to be more of a strategy when coming to deal with someone in this dynamic, because then it becomes so depressing. If you're if you're trying to put out music, or you're trying to, you're getting in your stride or whatever, but then the person who doesn't understand you is the one who's looking after you. Essentially, at some point, like it just weakens your own belief in yourself.
Definitely. Because I think during that time of my life, it was good in terms of a musician. It was probably bad as a holistic person. I was just an ignorant kid. Like, I was academically smart, but when you're ignorant in terms of everything else. So it's like, I'm going in these buildings, and that's why I can make songs that's why I can make ignorant songs like rapper, because I'm actually ignorant during that time, innit? And then as the hype of you getting here fades, because naturally, like you said, every feeling is temporary. You start settling into who you are again, innit? Just now I'm in a different position in my life. So where I think that leaves labels is, I don't think they want to understand the people. I think there's an element of disengagement that they have, because what did they say? 99% of artists don't get to their first album. And I think that's an accepted statistic, but that means that's a horrible business structure. Then if 99% of acts fail, that is a horrible business. Like, that should get most businesses, like, you can't justify that in the working world. However, music, you just gotta hit it one time, and that will finance everything. Like, Ed Sheeran will finance everything.
That's the next thing.
Adele will finance everything.
That's another important thing for, like, I think to put out there as well, is that like, if the label has a massive legacy act, that gives them the leeway to be able to just pick things up, dash it in the bin, pick things up, dash it in the bin, because you know what, Bob Marley's always gonna sell.
Exactly that.
Ed's always gonna sell. Also, just quickly going to a point, I feel like maybe they might do this as well, but I feel like if you're an A&R from a record, and I want to talk to A&R about this, but if you've gone and signed a whole bunch of artists and you just up and leave, then like, surely would you not be able to have, is there not like some type of clause in a contract, or maybe there should be some type of clause in a contract where it's like, you know what, when I go, I'm taking, or I can have the opportunity to take.
That's a key man clause.
Oh, that exists?
That exists, however, they don't give it to A&Rs usually, because it gives them too much leverage. So when it's time to negotiate their salary, if they've got some serious acts, they might just say, yo, give me everything, or I'm fucking off.
Right.
So that's because I asked for that. I actually asked for a key man clause,
and they said no.
Yeah, they said nah.
Is the problem the actual music business, or is the problem our perception of what we believe the music business is and supposed to be before we get there?
Can I say a different answer altogether? Yeah.
Go on.
I think the problem is just human nature, innit? Like, so as a whole, the music industry is based on nepotism, innit? So what I mean by nepotism, just in case people don't know, is like it's within a family or it's within someone you know. Like they say, it's who you know, not what you know. So it's like people are bringing inexperienced people into the music industry who have no understanding of music, maybe no love for the music, and then what have you even been through life? Because this is a people business, isn't it? You got to really understand people as a whole, especially musicians. A lot of musicians are broken people. That's why they run to music as their escapism. So then you've got all this nepotism and all these inexperienced people handling damaged people. People that you should handle with extra care are getting handled by ignorant people. So I don't think the industry is like evil, that there's some devil wearing horns. It's just another reflection of human nature. There's good, there's bad. No one's all good, no one's all bad. But because there's that like continued ignorance that no one wants to rectify, there will always be another sad story. There will always be someone that's been neglected. There will always be someone that's been broken, that's not capable to be in the music industry. So I think it's just the problem is human nature, innit? And willful ignorance.
You said the people inside the buildings rinsed another broken kid from a working class environment, and they're going to do it again and again. Elaborate on that.
So with me, again, like a lot of my problems are really like deep. Like there's a lot of deep problems. So even with my situation, last year is when I remembered about the core, like, or was it last year? Might have been the very end of the year before, but that's when I remembered about my abuse in it. It's like when I was a child, and that's like the surface. I haven't really got intricate about it. There's things that I'm like saving away that I don't want to talk about just yet, but it's like I vocalized that to someone in my like label team. So I'm like, yo, I'm just not with it. Like I'm just trying to sort myself out. And that's when me and the label have separated. So now you're doing hard negotiations with me whilst I'm in a vulnerable state. Because I've already vocalized I'm tired, innit? And that's just business. To be honest with you, business can be cruel. But it's just like, you lot know I'm sorting a lot of stuff out.
How do you feel like they could have supported you?
I think one, you could have. I think a lot of them don't want to give you your freedom. They don't understand where the music comes from, innit, first and foremost. So I think that's the key problem, because I'm telling them, yo, all of these songs that you lot love of me were genuine songs. I didn't make them to try and chase this, but that's what happened. I was like, maybe just leave me in that bag. But they're like, because they care, and obviously it's their job as well, they need to get results. They're pushing you for what they think is the certain thing, innit? Because they're like, yo, if this works now, it's going to work again. But it's like, I have to be in that space again to make it. So I think it's just maybe more communication, more understanding. But if you don't understand it, you can't understand it. I think following that as well, with my scenario, it's like, what we had during the negotiations is you're asking for more than you're entitled to, and you know that you're asking for more than you're entitled to. So you're asking for masters that I've made before I was even with you. But you know, with the negotiation process, it's like they can drag it out, and COVID's just happened. So you know man, them ain't performing as much. So you're trying to take what is my security and things that I've earned whilst I'm in a vulnerable state. I think that's more predatory. But like, you know, they're the predator, I'm the prey. Like, that's just how it's set up. So it's like, they're like doing a war of attrition. It's like, yeah, you lot got the capital to like outlast me and do like the whole legal battle with me. There's artist, George something, and he was in Sony, and like he done a long war for his masters. Right. And by the time he got it, they'd rinsed him anyway. Right. So I'm like, yo, you lot know you're being inhumane. And if the artists are quiet, yeah, because at this point in my career, I'm not even on socials. I'm not really doing the outspoken thing, because like I said, I need to figure out everything and process it. It's like you're taking advantage of that because you
you know it's just going to be another thing that's swept under the rug. It's our dirty little secret. And then when you speak up about it, that's when you shake the doors. When you start being vocal, that's when they want to rescind, because they know what they're doing is like, they're ashamed of it, innit? Because if you say it from a human level, they know as human beings that's a dirty thing to do, but that's the business, innit?
Yeah. Even you like the broken kid element, because there like a lot of talent it comes from certain types of environment, especially within our culture. Yeah. What do you think that they could do in regards to like being delicate and being understanding with dealing with artists that come from that? And is it their job to do that, or is it our job as a community, and also as people that have a certain understanding more of it, whether they're in it or outside it, or had their own experiences, or just have a certain type of perspective anyway, more to sit and talk to each other about it, to have an understanding of what essentially you're getting into when you are working with a business? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a business.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's a conversation to be had still, because there's see, your message that you put up the other day is not like the first that you're hearing of people that have been a part of a system or a business and come away from it and almost felt stripped naked.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But is that a them problem, or is that more of a thing of like, as we're moving on now, we're starting to understand things better, we need to really have conversations about, like, it's when people are dangling money at you or whatever, this sounds great, I get it, you come from here or whatnot, but here, you know what, let me just pick up a phone and let me just have a little light conversation with you and explain to you before you do what you're doing, and not to scare you though, not to scare you and say to you, you know what, this is exactly likely to happen, but let's broaden the conversation here quickly, because this is, as much as this seems positive, these are the negatives too, and these are the things that you need to look out for, so that when you are in that position, or you are there, you are almost kind of not necessarily wise to what has happened, but you're kind of preempted. Most people are not preempted, especially when you're young, and you sign. Yeah. But then I don't know, does that make it techie? Like, whose job and whose responsibility is it to do that? Like, should they have someone in the label who, like, a department that is a duty of care? Do you get what I'm saying? Actively is there for your well-being.
Everyone's job, man. I think it's everyone's job, like, but that is getting so deep. You're asking me to maybe,
we're talking about fixing the world essentially, because it's like, it is a bit of the community, it is a bit of them, it is a bit of the artists, but what we know is just human nature will be human nature. That's why history repeats itself. That's why there's the Russia and Ukraine war. No one wants war, but yet again, here it is, isn't it? So it's like, if they're not learning and it's on a global scale, people are losing lives. Music business, people aren't losing lives at the same rate. Like, that's just the world that we're in, innit? However, so I think in music, you can't really tell the youths not to sign, because they're in, like, whatever state they're in. It's almost like you're in a psychosis, or you're so, like, to think about it, to think you're going to be the person that blows up from ends, you're already unrealistic. Do you get what I mean? It's not a realistic career path. But you had to believe in yourself so much that when someone tells you, you're not going to be the one to change it, you just think it's another thing that they're saying. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like, oh yeah, I've had all the doubt already. Like, we've heard all the doubt already. It's like, nah. So I've given artists some advice and I said, nah, man, don't sign. Like, don't sign that. And they'll be like, nah, brother, it might have happened to you. I'm like, boy, like, I want to help you, but I also understand where you're coming from, because that's the similar energy that I had, and that's how it repeats itself. Because you have to be that headstrong to get here, but it's not going to keep you here. So it's like, what do you do? I think maybe if the music business wanted to be a bit better, nurture the artists that you have. Like, take them and say, yeah, we know you're a bit tweaked. Like, we need to take you therapy. You need to get taken therapy. But again, how do you have that conversation with someone?
How do you have what conversation?
Like, how do you come here as a business? Yeah, imagine a business coming to you, hiring you, saying you're excellent, and then saying, "Yo, take therapy."
Easy.
Would you reckon they would take
I think it's easy. Do you know why I think it's easy?
Go on.
You pitch it on a thing of everyone should be doing it. What, you're not doing that?
Yeah, I hear that.
Well, you're not doing that. You know what? I hear it. It's kind of like you didn't even think about that. I tell you what, this is what we'll do. We won't give you a therapist though, because that's conflict of interest in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll speak to somebody like who's a neutral that will help source you somebody that you will find comfortable with. And guess what? Look, understand, yeah, that like you might not hit it off with the first person that you speak to. It might take you a few times, a few different people to like, before you get to that person who actually you feel comfortable with. But you know what? Like, here, do that.
Yeah.
Does it? The thing is though, that's great. And I do think that should be a thing. Does it stop though, or change the reality of the deal and the system that you're in? Because listen, I can help you like in rationalizing your thoughts in some way, shape, or form. But hear what though? If I'm not putting it out, I'm just not putting it out though. And you're signed to me though. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like we signed you on a certain thing. We thought it was going to be this. Yeah. And right now it's just not even really that. And I don't even want to spend the bread on it because I think I'm going to lose it. What does that do? That obviously affects you as a human being and as a creator, because you're told that the music that you're not putting out or that you want to put out is not necessarily good enough. So then now you start questioning your own ability, or maybe you're questioning whether you are actually doing the right thing. Then you're getting into the studio and changing up your art and all of that type of stuff. But like also sometimes, you know, like it does get put out and then there's not the backing behind it, and then it doesn't really do that well either. And sometimes, you know what, we can't even take away from the fact that like sometimes they put things out and it just doesn't bang, bro. You know, and like I do think that that's on one side, if I'm going to play Angel's Advocate here, sometimes artists are not good at being able to like accept that reality. It's just right now, it's just not working.
It's true.
It just doesn't bang.
It's true.
And as it's not banging, maybe this situation isn't even for us. Maybe you need to go and like figure it out yourself some way, shape or form. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
But it's there's so many nuances to it.
If it's mad.
Yeah, what are the interest rates on the loans? Are they like if a label signs you for 200 bags? Yeah. Like what is
say it's 80-20. Sorry for interrupting. Say it's 80-20. It's your 20% goes towards recouping the whole 200 bags.
So wait, they take 80, you take 20.
Yeah. If it's a major label.
And then, so once you've recouped, so if you now get past 200 bags, then how does that change?
No, you have to make $1 million to pay off that 200 bags.
You got to make $1 million.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're getting 80, yeah? They're getting 80 like from Jump Street, from day one. And then with that 20%, that 20% goes off towards paying the 200 bags. So it's like...
So wait, the 80% doesn't come from... They're not taking that and using that as... Are you essentially
that's
saying...
That's not recouping the 200 bags.
So the 80% is just the profit.
Just profit for them.
But then your 20%...
Yeah.
They're taking that or dipping in that in some way to then help
to
pay
offset
off the 200 bags. That's a madness.
That's a madness, isn't it?
That can't be normal.
That's the business.
Is that normal?
That's the business. That's the standard. That's in a major deal.
That's mental.
That's crazy.
That's mental though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So now, is this not dependent on...
That's why I said...
Is this not dependent on your lawyer now?
You can't change that. That's like a standard.
That's a standard.
No, obviously, actually...
Depending on...
Let me just say it depends on the artist. If you're now the biggest artist in the world, you're going to negotiate and broker something that's more bespoke to you, innit? So obviously, I think the world is changing as well, innit? The world is changing, but that has been the standard for years, decades now.
I get what you mean when you say what you said then.
Yeah, the whipping. You're whipping broski. Like, you're actually whipping broski. Even though, like, you got your own bills to pay. People have to feed their family.
I'm going to chat to them about that.
But you're whipping broski, bro. You got this 18-year-old guy in studio, happy as ever. You got 200 bags. Broski's got to make a meal to then pay off the 200 bags. Whilst people are already in profit.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's nuts.
Is that including show money and that as well now?
Depends on your deal.
Yeah.
Depends on your deal.
I'm going to chat to them about that. You said, I feel like I never got the chance to be normal. And no matter how much I chase it, I will never be normal.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
So, I'm, what's it called? Like, because of the experiences that I've had growing up, I'm detached from things in a crazy way. Do you get what I mean? So you see how I speak about things and I'll be like quite logical and everything. Like I won't get that feeling, that community. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because I have to meet a lot of people that are like me. And around me, I don't have a lot of people that have gone through that. I hope they don't go through that as well, innit? But it's like I'm very detached. You get what I'm trying to say? So I'm not super optimistic. I'm not super pessimistic. I'm just logic guides everything. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I'm like, I kind of wish I just wanted to go on holiday. You know what they say? Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. Like, I wish I could kind of get up and be like, yo, man, let's just do this. But I've been a workaholic. Like, since I've signed, even when I'm taking breaks, yeah, like from publicly releasing, I'm working, I'm in the studio. Like, I feel guilty if I'm not in the studio. You know what I'm trying to say? And then even still, like, if you look at it from the path that I'm taking as a rapper, I'm a feel-good rapper. I'm kind of like, sometimes my life would be easier if I was just lying, or if I was a super gangster rapper. You get what I'm trying to say? But I'm like, my heart ain't even set out like that. You get what I mean?
Have you ever known what it's really and truly felt like to feel at home where it's peaceful and comfortable?
Nah. Like, never. Just because of the situation, because it's been a domestic situation, even me not remembering it till that age, I had to phone up my Marge. I had to phone her up and I was like, yo, did this actually happen? And it's like, yeah. And like, when I was growing up, like, I always kind of used to, like, I remember there was one time my pops tried to hold my hand, yeah, and I was like, why is this brother trying to hold my hand? Like, do you get me? Like, but not even in like a cute way. I was just like, don't really like feel you. But I couldn't understand why, innit? So I was always looking at myself weird. So I knew, logically, I knew how to act. But I always felt guilty because I had those thoughts.
Right.
You get me? I'm sure everyone has intrusive thoughts, but I think mine were to like a big extent. So even still, like, when that's happened, when I've even made that tweet, like, I just went for a long drive.
No, I hear you. You mentioned like your sister passing away, in it, right?
Yeah.
Was that an elder sister or a younger sister?
Elder sister.
Was you alive when she passed away?
Yeah. But I was young. I was like 4 years old.
Do you feel like, looking back, yeah, that changed your mum, like in a drastic way, in some way?
I wouldn't know what she was like before,
right?
But I'm sure it did, innit? Because I remember just like, she'd be crying and I'm just there taking it. Don't cry.
Yeah.
Like, you get me? And it's just like, that suddenly became like my job. Like, not again, like, I have empathy that I know that's life, innit? But then eventually it's like, I'm her protector. You get what I'm saying? So then situations in my house, I'm protecting her, but I'm protecting her against like my pops. So then I'm not even getting that luxury of, well, a lot of people don't get that luxury, but I don't even get that luxury to look at my family system and be like, yeah, I'm proud of that.
Right. was there abuse going on between them two as well? Like, is that where you grew up?
Yeah.
Elements of it, yeah.
Yeah, elements.
How has that, like, just the dynamic between your mum and your dad, yeah? How has it affected in any way how you have, like, how your relationships with women?
I think, would I say that's affected my, I would say I'm not really, like, sentimental.
Right.
Like, I'm not lovey-dovey. Like, I like love. Like, I like the idea of it. Like, yo, like, you know, like, I like, yeah, like, it's cool, innit?
I
Do you
know,
get me?
yeah,
But
yeah,
I believe in conditional love. Like, healthy conditional love.
Elaborate.
So I believe we and you talk about our boundaries. We talk about what we need from each other in a very, like, calculated way,
Right.
and then be happy after that.
Right.
Do you get what I mean?
I
Like,
believe in conditional love as well.
Yeah.
Like, when people say, "Oh, you know what? Nah, unconditional. I want unconditional love." I'm like, nah, but, like, I believe, me personally, there has to be some conditions in this, because, like, I can't allow you to constantly, fully disrespect me in a bunch of different ways, and I am going to allow myself to constantly indulge in this love unconditionally, irrespective of the disrespect, because I just love you.
Exactly.
I believe in, like, a strong balance between love and logic, innit?
Yeah.
And the logic is the part of where the condition is. Like, you know what? If you treat me a certain type of way, I promise you, I will love you to a different degree. A different degree.
Yeah.
But if you disrespect me, or there is something that I feel, like, makes me feel like, you know, like some type of strong disrespect or whatever it may be, yeah, I have to do my best to stop that love from here. That's even the same with family.
I'll give you the same.
Family.
I'll follow off the back of that, yeah.
Go on.
So imagine I had a situation, yeah. I believe in romance. Like, I do like finding the passion in life, innit? So there was a time me and this girl, like, we were having, like, an argument. I was just like, she's like, yo, give me space. And I bought her a star in the sky. I bought her, yeah. And I was just like, yo, there you go. There's your space, innit? Yeah. And then there was another situation where, like,
That's toxic, bro. I can't even.
I gave her space though. Yo, context. I did give her space though. Like, but then another situation that I've had someone talk to me crazy, just block them out of my life, block them on everything. You'll never hear from me again, because it's like, do you know what? There's, like you said, there's a base element of respect. That I'm not your mate. I didn't give birth to you. Like, you are a stranger that I've met along this journey called life. We could either have a good time or we could have a bad time. You decide, innit? Because I'll match you with your element of respect in it. Because I think that's the good thing about where I'm at as a person nowadays. It's not like I've remembered everything and now I'm in a pessimistic, oh, woe is me, oh, everything's grey. I'm just like, yo, like, there's good, there's bad. What do you want to make of your life?
Right.
You get me?
You said, I never had a dad to care about the fact that was sexually abusing me.
Yeah.
I never got to remember all of this until I was 25. Could you, like, help paint a picture of, like, at 25, what happened that made you remember what happened? Like, what why is 25 significant? Like, where was you?
So imagine, yeah, that this is such a dumb story, but, like, I'm going through the motions, yeah, and I've done something erratic. Like, so I've got a hand tattoo as a promise that I'll never go into the working world. Like, I'm like, yo, as long as I've got a hand tattoo, these niggas ain't gonna employ me. I'm black, I'm super black, and I've got a hand tattoo. Fuck it, let's go. That's like my promise to me. Like, always make sure I can never look back.
Right.
And then what happened was my brethren picked up an edible. Like, just like, so you know the edible cookies, yeah. And then we had it, yeah, and I was just sky high, bro. I was sky high, and like, we got to my yard and I just sat on the sofa and I was just looking around, and like, there's an interior designer, yeah, and she was just like, do you want this? And I was like, I was like, I don't even want that, but I can't be bothered to say it. And I was like, but why can't I be bothered to say it? Am I insecure? Like, am I insecure that I don't want to say this right now? And then I was like, why am I insecure? And then I went on a whole spiral. And then like my girl that I was seeing at the time took me downstairs. And then I was like I was going down this thought process. I was like, why are you here? And I was like, I must be insecure. Why am I insecure? And then it hit me like bricks, bro. Like I had the feeling in my body and I just remembered everything and I burst out. Like that was the first time I cried in 14 years or maybe even more than that. Yeah, 14, no, more than that. Like 17, whatever, yeah, but a long time. And then I was like, yo, I was sexually abused, but I was bawling. And I was like, once I woke up the next day, I was like, fuck, that makes a lot of sense. And then that's when I said I called my Marge and I asked her about it. And then she like,
what was that conversation like?
It was kind of straightforward, you know. After that, like, I'm good at picking up the pieces, innit? So I just called her. I was just like, yo, did this happen? And then I've called the person that done it. And the way they reacted was very weird.
Right.
And I was like, it's not a woman.
Right.
So it's like, but you're talking to me like a woman. Like, you're like, like, why are you letting her get in between us? I said, what is this brother on? Like, I've got groupies that don't talk to me like this. Sure. Like, do you get me? And that made me feel a bit, and I was just like, so I've gone to my pops now. And then he was just like, don't tell anyone. And I was like, is that the first thing you're going to say? And he's just like, no, don't tell anyone. And I was just like, is that the first thing you want to say though, bro? Like, is that the first thing you want to say? And I was just like, but me and him throughout my whole upbringing just clashed all the time. Right. And then I just left the yard and I said, yeah, it's time for me to pick up the pieces. I got a therapist that week. I started jogging. Right. I started doing everything to just take care of myself. Because I was just like, at least now I've got to the root of it. I can be a better person.
Admirable, bro.
Thank
Admirable
you.
That you did that. Trust me, man.
Thank you, bro.
Love, man. Did you, like, how did you... see these conversations that you had,
yeah,
were they like consecutive or
all,
did you
all in one day?
Once the day ended and you went to bed, do you remember how you felt?
Tired, bro. Just tired. Like, again,
mentally.
Yeah, because for up until then, there's one big thing that I've probably left out. I wasn't, during that time of my life, or for most of my young life, I didn't feel anything. Like, I'll go through life, I don't feel anything until I drink.
Right.
Like, when I drink, it takes the edge off. I start feeling something. So all my favorite songs I made when I was drunk. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because that's when I could feel. Because if I don't drink, I become a punchline rapper.
Right.
Because I'm just thinking. But when I drink, I can speak from the soul, and that's the music that I like to hear. Because it's like I wasn't in touch with it. Because if I got in touch with it, I'd have to remember that. So that's what me and my therapist would speak about. She was just like, yo, you suppressed this so much, so obviously you're not used to feeling.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, obviously, like, that's, I think, probably a lot of people that go through stuff like that, especially young men, like, will massively suppress that to the point of blocking it out of your mind, where you don't even remember that that's happened. Do you get what I'm saying? I think that, like, it shows quite a deep emotional intelligence, though, for you to be able to be like, like, why do I feel insecure? Because most people will just feel insecure and try to push that to the side. I'm not insecure. And scream from the rooftops that you're not insecure. And more time, when people are screaming from the rooftop that they're not insecure, they're massively insecure. So to be able to turn around and say, you know what, nah, like, but why though? Is it why, and get to the root cause of that, I think is a testament to your character. Did you feel, I hope you understand what I mean when I say this, But like after that, was there like a small part of you that felt a little bit emasculated?
Do you know what? I didn't feel emasculated, but I was like, I had questions. I was like, does that make me that way?
Right.
And then I started laughing. I was like, nah, I love women though. I was like, I love them still. Like, if anything, that was actually a problem that I think might have affected me in the industry. Like, I never felt comfortable around brothers.
Right.
Like, I didn't feel comfortable, but I always thought it was a hood thing, because obviously you grow up in ends and it's like man of bookie. So I thought it was a hood thing, but I was just like, nah, I just don't feel comfortable around man. So even my brethren would call me like, yo, chill. And I was like, nah, I'm linking this girl, bro. And they're like, what, you don't want to chill? I was like, nah.
I'm chilling with the man then.
I'm not chilling with you, man. Like, you get me? Like, I love you, man. Like, we'll go get girls together, but I don't want to chill with you right now.
Right.
You get me?
Yeah, it's mad. I feel like it's nuts, man. I feel like also there's a big misconception about like two things actually. One, where if someone, for example, if a boy is abused by a woman, people don't even accept that as abuse, which is nuts in itself. Yeah. And then there's also like a big misconception on like a boy being abused by a man, and then like people in some way thinking in their head that even though you was abused, that you must be some kind of way.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you must be that
way. Yeah.
Be that way. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When that's not the case, it's you're a child, isn't it? Like, and you're probably around, and usually as well, the people that are abusing children are the ones that are the closest to the child.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's like a stat, someone will be able to get the stat for me, but like, the amount of people that are abused by strangers compared to how much they are abused by someone in their family or someone that they know, like, is a lot lower. Because the family and the strangers, that's like super high. Because you will trust your child with their dad.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Or
100%.
their mum. Or you would trust your child like amongst the uncle or the whoever else. Or the cousin, or because it's family. Do you get me?
100%.
But really and truly, this is the one in the family or whatnot that's been carrying on with this. Not just you, but there's like so many silent, so many things that people are holding back, even within the family or in that unit, where no one feels empowered enough or brave enough to actually really say what it was that they were actually dealing with. Everyone turned around and said, it's me, and they put their hands up. You'd be like, right, all of these people. Like they did that and managed to get away with that.
Once you know, you can tell who's been through similar. That's the thing. Like, I always used to think, like, you know, when parents would look at your friend and say, he's that way, like, don't trust him or trust him, and you would be like, how do you know? It's like, I kind of have that capacity now. I'm like, you've been through that.
Right.
Like, I could look at someone and be like, I know you. Like, a little bit. Do you get me? Or I know you've been through something similar, because there's just certain tendencies. So, like, man, I think there's, like you said, it's a lot with the family, and then it's a cycle, innit? Like I said, so I was born in Sierra Leone. So, like, we've come from war. So when there's a war, there's obviously, like, rape in the war. And I'm sure that's happened to the person that's done it. You get it? So I'm just like...
Yeah, they say that abuse people... Or hurt people, innit?
Hurt people.
But then how do you break the cycle then?
I think... Do you know what's mad, yeah? I got to big up my mum, innit? Because I think the one thing was they gave me a lot of love. Like, my mum gave me a lot, like, overprotective. She's like, this is my son. So, like, my grandma, she moved my grandma from Sierra Leone to here, so that, like, I could never be left in the house alone.
Right.
So, like, they just showed me a lot of love and kind of gave me, like, a direction of faith, like, believe in God. So in a weird way, even though I was in an ignorant part of my life, like I was always walking with faith, if that makes sense. So like, to get here, I had to be so unrealistic, because it's like, bro, like, you gotta think about it. I'm like, I don't look like a rapper. Like I think I kind of do now. Like I'm getting a bit like you get me. I'm
Like,
getting a
look
bit
at the
buff
watch,
on them.
brother. Man, no, innit? You're not kicking ball.
Yeah.
You're a rapper, brother.
But-
yeah, actually, you could kick ball still. You don't have a belly.
Nah, I don't have a belly
Yeah,
still.
you're
I had to
right.
lose that one. I had to lose that. But like,
There's
I was
no
in a
gut.
point in my life, yeah. Like there was so many sick rappers from my area. Like I could name them: Hooligan, Bully, like Storms, like like. And I wasn't the one that everyone was looking at. Like he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't that brother, but I was just like I just kept on doing it anyway.
Right.
I was just like, yo, I'm gonna learn, and I think that drive came from just wanting to get out of my situation.
You said, I've been fighting and I keep on fighting, but is my life all about fighting? Do you feel like do you feel like that for real, like that, like every day, or your life is dedicated to a fight? And what is that? What is the fight like? Is it like an internal fight, or is it an external fight? Is it a fight that like you're dealing with dealing with people, or is it an internal fight within yourself of like all of the things that you've been through, and like trying to make sure that you're keeping your mind balanced, or both?
I think it's both, man, because naturally I'm very conscious now after learning that. Make sure you do things from a positive place, because it would be so easy for me to operate out of hurt. So I'm always making sure, alright, cool, make sure you're centered, make sure you're in a good space. And then obviously we're in an industry where you're navigating around a lot of people that maybe are hurt, maybe are ignorant, and then you've got to maneuver them and like forgive them every day. So it's like, I know this now, and again, I can't force my opinion on you, because I could be wrong, innit? But at the end of the day, it's like, I know what's right for me and my soul. But you have to navigate all these people and their insecurities and their traumas, all of what they're going through. And I'm like, because I grew up isolated, I'm like, I didn't even want to be a leader. Like, how the fuck did I get here? Like, I used to just consult myself. I'd get up out my yard and just go. And then now it's like, and I wasn't the loudest when I was younger. I was shy, I was quiet, I was introverted. And then now it's like, I gotta tell you this, I gotta tell you that. And then, you know, when you're being respectful to people, it's like, you have to go the long way around. Because like I said, remember what I just said about the rapper story? I was like, yeah, but you're 40 in middle class. Like, that's how blunt. I'm just brash. But now I'm like, do you know what? That wasn't right of me to be brash. Even if I thought that maybe I could have worded it a bit better so you could see it from my perspective. Because now he's on the defensive.
Yeah, and also that like it doesn't help your cause.
It does
because
not
I
help
guess
my
if these people are working in a label or whatever, and they're the ones who they've got the duty to push your stuff out or whatever, or do whatever it is in regards to your music, yeah, but you don't feel valued by them, they don't feel valued by you, but they're the ones who essentially are gonna sign shit off. Then, you know, you disrespect a man and it's like, you know what, cool, we'll just shelf you then.
Yeah, definitely. I think with me, the one thing is I'm not a stranger to apologizing.
Right.
Like, I'll just apologize. You get me? Like, it's not always gonna rekindle everything.
Right.
But it's like, I know I'm growing up, so
of course.
I'm learning in it, essentially.
How do you make peace with it all?
I'm here, innit? So it's like, for everything that I went through, would I have got here if I didn't? Because this is a crazy story. Like, English ain't even my first language. Like, if you look at man, like, I've got an underbite, so that means I've slightly got a speech impediment.
Right.
So you're a rapper with a speech impediment, and English is your third language, and then it's like, you're in New Addington, yeah, not a place. I'm the first rapper from Addington, really, to make maybe over 5 figures, and then you made 6, and then you made 7, and it's like, I'm the first. So it's like, can I complain when it's like, it's giving me a strength to move? If anything, it means maybe I have a purpose. Maybe like, I'm here to show people, yo, you lot, ain't as fucked as I am, so go do better. Do you get what I'm saying? Like in a supportive way. That sounded a bit condescending, but it's like, yo, you lot are more put together than me. I hope you do better. I hope you lot
pain,
get
though,
happier.
emotional pain is so relative, isn't it?
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? Like that bit of pain that someone would be feeling might be so light for you.
Yeah,
but it's massive for them.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
100%.
And yeah, like I guess that the feeling is valid. The feeling is valid, but it's how you move forward with that. And I think also as well, yeah, it's like I think maybe the tricky thing that a lot of people find themselves in is that when you do have an evident external blessing, yeah, people then think, you know what, like there shouldn't be, like, there's nothing wrong today, really. Yeah, like I understand the blessings that I have or whatnot, so I shouldn't be feeling a certain way. That makes it worse.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking, like let's just say, like, let's tailor it more to you. Like I got money in the bank now. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm okay. Like things have happened. I've experienced things. You get what I'm saying? Like life today. Actually, there shouldn't be anything to complain about. But the thought that you think that, when really internally you're feeling some type of way, just makes it worse. Because you flip it on the other side and you're like, why do I feel like this, bruv?
Yeah.
Like today. Like, why do I feel like this today? There should be nothing. Like, I should have just dealt with that. Do you know what I'm saying? I should just be. But nah, like,
call a spade, innit? Like we're almost like narcissists, innit?
Yeah.
Essentially, like we're empty. That's why we need everything to fill us. Like you've got this huge ambition because you're not content. Like you're not happy within yourself. So it's like, let me get some money. Let me get this girl. Let me get this. Let me get that.
Yeah, but you do all of that to realise that it doesn't do anything.
It don't do anything. It actually don't do anything. If anything, it hurts you even more.
Yeah.
So you get me. So then it's like, that's why people are like, yo, I'm hurt. Like artists are like going through it because it's like most of us are empty people that have tried to fill it with something else, fill it with something else. And it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, because along the way, I haven't been a perfect person either. You get me? Because I've been hurt, so that means I've hurt people. You get what I'm trying to say? And then it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, are we gonna cry about it? Like, we gotta forgive ourselves, forgive the people that have hurt us, and move on, innit? And then like, hopefully I have like a spoiled middle class son that says, I hate you, dad, and he's got like 800 trainers, and it's like, whatever, man, like, you get me? In the future, as long as you have a future, you have a chance.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, it's good that you signed off the letter as well, just on like, it's not how my story ends though. It's a part of it, but like going forward, it's not how the story ends. Being
100%.
determined to make sure that doesn't fully define your whole life and your existence is important, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. I think it's like, now even just for the story, like I'm like third person looking at my life. I'm like, you could can let it break you, or you could just move on. You get me? You're here, you're safe, you're hungry, you have an opportunity. All I can ask for is an opportunity.
Right.
What I do with that opportunity is up to me.
Facts.
So it's like, yeah, man, I'm like, as a whole, I would say I'm just happy I know who I am now. That's the best thing for me. So now when I'm making music, no one can tell me that's not you.
Right.
No one can tell me that, because what happens in the industry with a lot of artists, why you get them being so like shit or being a caricature once they come up, is because they're so unsure of themselves. Like, imagine it got to a point, I think why I had to learn myself so much is because it was gonna ruin my career.
Right.
Do you get me? My career's taken a hit. Call a spade a spade. Look, my career's taken a hit, COVID, and then not being even sure what to release and everything. Because if I was sure, I would have been fighting the label. You get me? I would have been fighting the label that, no, this is it. Like, you get me? But it's like, sometimes I'm unsure. Like, when I take a step, I've got like 15 voices. Like, yo, from this standpoint, it might be interpreted like this. From this standpoint, it might be interpreted like this. But ultimately, I know it's just my standpoint. and my standpoint to communicate to others. You get me? Like, because all it is like, I just think the world needs some more communication.
Massively, man.
That's all it is.
Massively.
Because I think, like, as artists, we get pigeonholed, because a lot of people, again, are like, maybe not as multifaceted.
Right.
Like, some people, there was some guy, one of my brethren called me, in the morning and said, "Oh, this guy's ripping you in group chat." And I was like, I bet you any money he wears glasses and listens to A2. And then, because I was
why did you say that?
Because I was just like, those are the youths that hate me the most.
What, the ones that wear glasses and listen to A2?
Yeah, because it's like, they're being, like, from my eyes, I think A2's a sick artist.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I've smoothed that one over.
Yeah, no, A2's from Croydon as well, you know, so it's love, innit?
Yeah.
So, but I'm less like, you think you're deep by listening to him. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? So people, like, if you're not emotionally intelligent, you might think I'm just another shallow rapper.
Right.
But I word everything very precisely.
Yeah,
like, I'm very, like, I don't want to broke shame in my lyrics.
Right.
Like, I'm not that sort of person. Like, even there was a song, Super So Called, "Wanna Hear a Joke, You." But the funny thing, I've been broke too. Like, I'm not here in this position and thinking, let me shit on everyone now. I'm like, do you know what? I've been broke. I'm just happy to be in this position.
Right.
Yo, I'm lit now. Like, be happy for me, innit?
Yeah.
And obviously, I think if you're listening to rap, some people listen to rap like it's wine, innit? And you're allowed to, whatever makes you happy. So I might not suit your taste. So it was a guess, innit? And he was just like, yo, he's like, what? He's like, when I told my brethren that, he's like, what? How did you know that? And then they were bantering him for the whole day. You get me? But it's just like, I'm just like, where I'm such a nuanced character, and I think you can tell me this, but I don't think you have a Hardy Caprio before a Hardy Caprio. Like, I don't think like I'm like a second coming of Kano. I don't think I'm like a second coming of Bashi. I think I'm the very first Hardy Caprio. So I'm gonna make mistakes. People aren't gonna understand it, innit? Because it's like, if you're academically smart, why don't you make smarter lyrics? And I'm like, I don't give a shit about smart lyrics. If I want to read, I'll read.
Yeah, but why do you? Yeah, that's nuts. That's a weird thing to say.
Yeah, because obviously I came up smart.
So?
And they like, you get me? I don't care. But I'm saying now it's just like communication. Sometimes.
Yeah, but you don't. Also, just because you don't hit them with the flipping, you know, like the massive, wider vocabulary thing, yeah?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you sound stupid today.
Yeah, I don't think
You know
so.
what I'm saying?
I think, do you know what? I just think London needs to heal. Because remember, we're like the first generation, not even the first.
You know what I think, bro?
Go on.
I think that we need to truly understand that there are, like, this is the easiest way for me to put it. There are different black experiences. Let me just put it as that. There are different. We don't all have the same experience.
100%.
And so for that should translate in art and creativity.
100%.
We shouldn't have all the same people doing flipping, talking smoke.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? We should be able to have a different style of rapper that's not necessarily doing that and accept them the same. And we're kind of getting there in that. But I do feel that, like, the surface conversations always sound like people are talking from this place of, it's supposed to just be like this. No, it's not supposed to be like that. There's like so many different parts of our culture that should be shown in art.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Definitely.
Like, so, bro, yeah, like, sometimes
for...
there should be some artists that say some of the most smartest. We do, like, just surface level. Akala is the smartest done ever. And it comes through in his music.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But not everyone's going to be that. And this might not be for everyone's taste. Do you get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Loyal Kana, one of my favourites. He's not Dave.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he's not Skepta. That's cool though.
It's cool, isn't it? Like,
because them man are them and he is he. And like, this is all part of an experience. Let's embrace that. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
And teach people about that. Why does everyone have to do a Doja record?
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, why does everyone have to do that? Not everyone has to do that. Not everyone has to talk smoke. Not everyone has to flip in. It doesn't always have to be in this one lane.
Yeah.
Why is it, I was talking about this before, it feels like people only accept this one lane as it being cool. And then anything outside of that is not necessarily cool. I fucking hate that.
I think it's their...
I hate that
Do you
shit.
know what, Chucks? I think it's their personal insecurities. Because I had a brethren, yeah. Me and him ain't brethren no more. But he was sitting down in his car, yeah. And he was playing me Blade Brown. And he's like, H, man, I wish you made more things like this. I relate to this so much. And I was like, what, in the car that your mum bought you?
Right.
How do you relate to
Exactly.
Blade? And then it's like, there's more people, yeah, thank God as well, to be honest, there's more people that haven't been through a lot. So they what's it called? Idolize violence. They idolize that ignorance because they kind of wish they were ignorant. Do you get me? Or it's their escapism. But for me, I'm on the flip side. I've been through so much in ends. I've been through so much in life. I just want to hear happy music, bro.
Let me tell you, I'll be honest with you, I love a crime doc. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Give me the smokiest one. I want the one where the man turned up to the crib now and it was bare people. Like, obviously it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to really happen. But as it's happened, give me
feel
the
you.
one where the whole
But
family.
you know what's mad? I'm the opposite, bro. I'm the opposite. I go
What are you
home,
saying,
yeah.
like, what, Friends?
I want to
You go
watch
and
The Office.
Friends? Okay.
Office. I want to watch The Office, bro. I want to listen to some Olivia Rodrigo and that. Like, do you get me? Like, I'm like, yo, I wish that.
Let me tell you this now. You know what? I can't wait to watch.
Go on.
I might get the title wrong, but you'll know what I'm talking about when I say it.
Yeah.
Dad Killed Mum
Oh my.
on
gosh.
Netflix.
Oh my
It
gosh.
comes up straight away. Wait, let me just tell you. I might be saying it wrong. No, actually, I'm not going to tell
What,
you.
is that a real doc? Is that a
It's
real
a doc, yeah.
Is it
The
coming?
Dad Killed. What was it? My Dad, the Killer.
Oh right.
You get what I'm saying? Or My Dad. What is it, bro?
I just killed my dad.
I just killed my
Oh,
dad.
wow. Oh,
That
wow.
one. I just killed my dad. What? You see
How
when I
old's
get
your
home
brother?
today? That's me tonight.
It's not out yet. I don't know. Is it out yet?
Yeah, it's out. Yeah, it's out. Every time I go on Netflix, know me. As soon as I step in that joint,
Yeah.
bam, it just hits me with the text and all of this type of stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the thing is, though, I'm a compartmentalizer. Obviously, I'm not going to go and dappy my dad. I'm not going to do, like, none of this is going to happen. You get what I'm saying? But
yeah.
There's something about that. But you know what, like, to tie it back to what we were saying is that, like, I would never, even being into something like that, I'm never shitting on this experience here or what that's happened or there's just a one particular thing that I'm kind of into. You're right, when I hear certain people talking about, oh yeah, boom, man, I just like a Blade or like, you know, even gigs or whatnot, it's like, brother, like these men come from a certain place, bro. You don't even want that.
Yeah.
Because they didn't even want it.
Yeah.
They didn't even want it. If you speak to these man, enough of these man didn't want that, really.
Yeah.
They didn't want to grow up in a fucking area where it was flipping tit for tat and that you didn't know whether your head was going to get whipped. Like, we can sit and celebrate all of that stuff now.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, you don't want that. And on top of that, guess what? Not everyone from the community was going through it like that. There were
Yeah.
some people that were from the estate and that were going college, uni, and flipping, trying their best to stay away from it a little bit. Might have sold a young thing. You get what I'm saying? Might have just, you know what I mean? Someone give them a light pack, whatever, and just for 6 months or whatever, did whatever it was that they was doing or whatnot. But not everyone was, and that was on the smoke. Let's not like narrow the black experience and culture to just one thing.
Yeah. But I think, do you know what's mad? Yeah, society wins when you champion the negative experience. Because what happens is when you speak to rappers, like I speak to a lot of rappers, they feel like they have to be negative to keep on going. They're like, yo, you can't make something like this and get a Mercury Awards. You have to talk about your trauma. You have to talk about that. And I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah, you don't.
Just be happy, bro.
But also as well, bro, all it takes is for one person to do it and then people realize that you can actually do it. It just takes one person to do it.
It does, isn't it?
Yeah, like when you see one artist come through and just do a madness differently, then it changes things.
I think
know
you
what
just
mean?
need to be bold. That's what it is.
100%.
That's an artist, isn't it?
100%. Bro, I appreciate this, man. And I appreciate you. I just feel like it was really admirable and respect, and like I massively respect that you able to sit down and talk about it from this place here, innit?
Yeah,
and
yeah, definitely.
And also, you know what? Like, we're all just trying to find ourselves as well. Even whether it be like just in life or whether it be from a creative place or whatnot. But you know, you're an interesting person who cares, and I just hope that like you continue to do what is best for you and to keep your mind balanced. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't believe that life is always for fighting. From an exterior place, it is, because there's so much things that we're having to deal with all of the time or whatnot. But I do think that like how we can, wherever we can, it's more just about just trying to find the peace and seeing what that looks like. And I know that peace is always going to be interrupted, and we're just going to go through these periods of time where like sometimes it's just going to be super peaceful in your mind or just in life, and then other times it's just not going to be. But once you find it one time, then at least then it helps you find the solution for when it's disrupted. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
And I believe in you, bro. Like,
Thank
you know
you,
what I
man.
mean?
I appreciate it.
You there's been a hit in your career, but it's not over for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think more importantly, like irrespective of that, like life is just a lot deeper than just having a good moment within music anyway. As long as you have the ability to be able to put pen to paper and be able to create, that's a blessing within itself.
Amen.
And having like just the right people around you as you get older is the best thing, more than anything. Probably even more than just the creating side,
100%.
because it just helps with so many different elements in life, having people that genuinely just care about you and care about each other, and you know you're moving forward in life all with a certain common goal. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Man. But love and guidance every time.
Thank you, my brother. I love you too, man.
Every time, thanks for coming through, bro.
Thank you, Roski.
Is there anything that anyone needs to know about, by the way? Anything that anyone needs to know about?
I'm lit
Anything? Could
again,
be a
man.
doc.
I'm not.
It
I'm
could
lit
be
again. I'm lit again. We're about to watch a beautiful story, innit? Because I know some people thought that, yo, it's a tweet and then, go take a break and everything. But I'm only made that tweet because it's like, I'm back and I'm better than ever, innit?
Right.
You get me? So it's just like, let's watch the journey. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, of course. Man.
You get me? Let's see.
Yeah, man. And when you want to come and just sit here and just talk about some random stuff,
Yeah.
you've broken that seal, man. Just come and just sit
Yeah,
with me,
bro, I'll
sit
come.
with me and Poet, and we just vibe and just chat some stuff about whatever's going on.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean?
I'm a chatty patty, man. So let's go, man. I'm a fucking. Hey, you see me? I like a gossip, bro. I'll be honest. I'll be
A healthy gossip though, not
Yeah,
no
no,
negative
I wouldn't
one.
say that we do the gossip thing.
No,
Like,
not
we
the
just-
gossip
you know what I'm saying?
gossip. You know, not that the negative one. Like
Yeah.
you know, there's negative gossip and then
Right,
there's just that chatting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Boom. Thanks for listening, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love.
We got.